What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And it's time to enter the Wu-Tang. Alright, Amir, so we're back here on The Great Debaters. An exciting episode for both of us here with Wu-Tang Clan. But before we get to that, as always, please hit that subscribe button. Like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it. Each one, teach one. We appreciate your guys' support. Like our content, please, and tell a friend. We're trying to keep growing, get to that #1 spot, like our YouTube channel, Unique Access Entertainment, and of course our podcast as well on any streaming platform that you check your podcasts out. Now today, Amir, it's Wu-Tang, debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, 1993, helped shift rap, change rap, phenomenal album. What were your initial introductions and first thoughts on Enter the Wu-Tang?
So initial introductions, first thoughts. Initial introductions, I say this in quite a few episodes. If y'all been keeping up, you'll probably even know what I'm about to say, but this album I kind of got put on just when I was, browsing through the Amazon section back in the day when I was in middle school and I didn't know what to listen to because I was just burned a Tupac CD and then I was on my way after that on my own in this hip-hop journey. So I went on Amazon, typed in a couple artists I knew, and I read the lists of who recommends what. And Wu-Tang was one of the familiar names I always saw, and this cover was one that I always saw. And just like as someone particularly like that young, I was drawn to a good cover. And that really kind of prompted me to just go ahead and check it out. Like, what is the Wu-Tang all about? Like, what is this? They have a cool logo. They have an awesome cover. Let's just see. And I went ahead and I picked it up, and it was a great
good investment. Great
investment. Some good ROI on that, I'll tell you. A lot of listens, and really, with looking at this track list, I actually just noticed something about all of my picks, which I'll explain towards the end of the video. But I'm going to go ahead and just get started with my first pick, and that would be The Mystery of Chess Boxing. Now, this one, when I first heard this, I was blown away. And I actually listened to this all in track order. So if you're seeing this, it's track 6. But, wow, I was blown away. And on top of that, too, in addition to the music, I loved the music video. Like, the chess pieces, the people in the back, like it was like a super grimy music video. You saw a lot of the members. It was just so awesome. And then you can see just like how the cover was, it was just super awesome. And to hear like Inspect the Deck, to hear all the rappers on that, I was just like, wow, this is special. To hear Method Man on the chorus, I thought the way he did that was so great, but he didn't have a verse. You hear ODB, and ODB on this album, the range he has with his voice and his character, his personality, all that, it kind of makes you think he's crazy, but it also is like, wow, this is some good entertaining music, and he knows how to use his effects, his voice, his whole persona, everything. He's so great. And then he's talking about some of the members, and then he says, introducing the Ghostface Killer, but he puts his whole effect on it, and then he's like, no one could get illa, and then you get the Method Man chorus, and you get the Ghostface, and it's just so colorful and so good that I feel like if you didn't have a person like ODB on the songs, this album would not be as special. No way. So I wanted to kind of put the spotlight on ODB for a second because, wow, he was such a talent. Then also on top of that, too, one thing that I really liked about the song was there's that part of the track where they say, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. So back in middle school or high school or whatever it was, I had taken that bit and made it as my text tone. So whenever someone texted me, they'd hear the Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. So man, I just remember like it was a mission going on iTunes and making that separate track. So a lot of nostalgia to the song. It might be it's definitely top 3 on the album, maybe #1, but it's tough, man. That's my first pick.
That's also one of my picks, The Mystery of Chess Boxing. I think it's phenomenal on every level, and building on what Amir was saying, Old Dirty Bastard, so amazing on this song as he is throughout. Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. But the fact of the stylistical variance, like Amir was saying, but just saying, like, it's one of those things, and I've talked to a lot of producers, Legendary Trackster among them, of like when somebody does something that's a little different, when he's like, Ghostface Killer! Like, it's always one of those things, like, what did the RZA think when he was hearing this? Like, obviously, he grew up being related to ODB and knew him, but still, it's one thing to know him and then, like, him to do that on a song, and it was just so amazing, and all the sound effects, you know, it's just so wild, the levels and the stylistical variance sonically on this one also that you get. It's just wild, man, and very, very impressive because it showed the range. Master Killer with one of his, in my opinion, standout performances, because he's not on the album that much, but this is one where he really shines, and really it shows the stark differences between everyone's rhyme styles. You really get it highlighted on the Mystery of Chessboxing, because some of the songs, like Clan in the Front, is really just Jizza. So this song is one of those ones where there's several members, it's up-tempo, and it's members that often, with Master Killer, you don't get to hear as often together, which I thought made it great. And of course with You God coming in first, which I always thought was his best verse on the album too. So anyway, that's my first pick, Mystery of Chessboxing. Amir, what's your second pick?
Second pick, this is the pick that can be interchanged. This one's tough, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go with Wu-Tang Clan, Ain't Nothing to F With. And first off, I mean, I think Wu-Tang Clan is just such an awesome and unique group for many reasons. I mean, one, because of their logo. It's one of the most recognized logos in rap. And on top of that, too, they have so much slang and so many, phrases from this album that have lived on forever. And one is Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to F With. There's so many times, like, every year I'll see something, like some popular image, and then they just put that phrase over it. And a lot of it has to do with Wu-Tang, sometimes it has to do with other, like, artists or celebrities or whatever, but it's crazy how that phrase is just... I'm sure they didn't think that was going to last for over 20, almost 30 years now, but, I mean, that's awesome. RZA also, I thought RZA, I don't really think of the RZA as, like, a great rapper all the time, but I think on this song, I was like, damn, he is going in. I love his verse on here. I think just he's so great. I love, like, the snapping you hear in the song on the beat. I think the way that the production is, it's so dirty and it just works so well. I love that. I mean, and really, you don't get a lot of members on this song, but I still think it's just so great. And you'd think, like, with a track Wu-Tang Clan Nothing to F With, you'd think you'd get at least, like, 7 of the members on there, but you don't. You get, like, was it 3 or something like that? So that's interesting. The chorus is awesome, where they're all kind of chanting the song name, and then the end, like, where the RZA's just shouting out cities and states and other stuff. He even shouted out Maryland. So
Morgan State?
I know, Soren like that. And he shouted out the whole effing West Coast, so that was cool. But no, I mean, that song is just incredible to me. It's also so funny because it served as the B-side to Can It Be Also Simple? And I'm like, well, Can It Be Also Simple, I think, is a great song, but I'm like, I gotta go with Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to F With. I don't know, but that's just a crazy single right there. But that's my pick number 2.
That's also my second pick, Wu-Tang Ain't Nothing to F With, because of all those things. I've seen Wu-Tang perform in several different states in several different decades, and every time, sometimes they start their show with this, if I recall correctly, at a few, but it's just such an amazing song and such a forceful introduction to who and what they are, and to see it performed on stage is amazing. The energy on the song, and like with the Mystery of Chessboxing, we get the help of ODB and Method Man on the production, which I always am intrigued by them bringing out these extra wrinkles sonically, and I think it's just amazing, the energy, and that's the main thing, because when a chorus is so strong and so powerful and so memorable that the verses, as great as they are, and shout out to the RZA, who I interviewed recently. Check out the link if you haven't peeped it already. But, you know, you gotta, like, understand the power of choruses. And this goes for the most popular records, but even a album cut or a B-side of a single like Wu-Tang Ain't Nothing to F With, you see how important a chorus is to make a song powerful. And this is a prime example of that, because this song, it just lasts. And like Amir was saying, this was one of those songs that was toward the end of the timing of people shouting out, a whole bunch of people and regions and stuff, until we see Master P several years later start naming like every single solitary city, major city in the United States, where he was shouting out songs in his songs. All my soldiers in Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio. It's like, okay, dude, we get it. But this was one of those songs toward the end of kind of doing it for this era, I thought, and I just always loved it. Of course, he did shout out Maryland and Morgan State and D.C. and the places where I grew up, or the place where I grew up. So that was always special to me too. But bottom line is the power and the force and energy on this single is phenomenal. So that's my second pick. Amir, what's your third pick on Wu-Tang's Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers?
Third pick. So when I was mentioning in the beginning of the video where all of my songs, I was shocked until I looked at the track list. All my songs are on the second half of the album, and that's, I don't know if that's happened in the Great Debaters before. I mean, we've done so many, so I can't pinpoint, but
it's unusual.
It's very, very unusual. And I'm gonna go with Protect Your Neck here. Protect Your Neck might be my favorite song. It's either that or The Mystery of Chess Box, and that is such an incredible track. To hear all these Wu-Tang rappers on it is nuts. And also, the thing that's awesome, like I was just talking about Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to F With, how that term has stayed forever. Protect Your Neck is another term that I still hear. Just, and people aren't even talking about Wu-Tang and they'll just say Protect Your Neck. But on top of that, the skit in the beginning where you have the caller saying, you know what I want to hear, right? I want to hear that Wu-Tang. That's another thing. I mean, that's why I think skits are so underrated in hip-hop. When I hear a good transition, when I hear them at the beginning of songs, when I hear that they are actually adding and not just fluffing up an album, but adding to either the message or the theme or whatever, it always makes the album that much better, in my opinion. I think that's kind of like a lost art in, I don't want to, maybe music in general, but for sure hip-hop, it's definitely lost some significance. So to hear that in this track is amazing. And then we just get everyone going in, and honestly, you can't even really pinpoint a specific, I mean, I don't even know who my favorite rapper is on this song.
Well, we did the Great Debaters on that, so if you haven't watched that, check out the link up there.
You know, it's funny, we did do that. I'm kind of remembering now. But one thing that's always interesting with this song is, like, they're cussing throughout the song, but then they bleep out the F words in it with, like, the guitar or whatever. And then, honestly, like, Inspected Deck, just throughout this album, I think Inspected Deck has had such witty punchlines. I always thought, like, his flow to me was one of the best in the Wu-Tang Clan, for sure. And it's a shame that a lot of people don't talk to him about it as much. I know that he's doing the work with Czarface now, so that's good that he's still, making music today. But Inspected Deck is so good. And then Jizza, that verse, I mean, people so stingy they got short arms and deep pockets is a crazy line to me. It's just, like, so good. I mean, this song is like I said, it might be my favorite. The cover art's amazing for that song, too. Like, the artwork for this album, shout out to Danny Hastings with this cover right here. Just everything. I mean, Protect Your Neck is crazy. I want to talk about a couple things real quick, too, because it's crazy that Cream isn't one of my picks, and is that the most popular song from the album? I think it is, and that's another phrase. I don't know who made the phrase cream or whatever, but that's a thing that's lived on forever. And then RZA's idea to have Method Man as a song and to make Method Man the lead guy. I mean, I feel like there were so many creative thoughts, ideas, things that went behind the scenes that made this album so great. and it's just wild to me. I hope people understand how like impressive this whole album is. It's crazy. Like that Method Man, I think that was so bold, but Protect the Neck is my last pick, so go Soren.
That's not my pick, although I love it and all the songs you just mentioned, obviously, I love and think are great. My final pick is Shame on a because Old Dirty, as Amir was saying in the early parts of the video, is so good on this album.
Yeah.
And Old Dirty, I did, rest in peace of course, but I got to know him, talked to him several times, hung out with him in person a couple times over the years. And I just always thought he was so underrated as an artist, as a producer, as a idea generator, as an artist. He's just an amazing talent, and he shines on Shame on a. And I just, the energy that he had and getting to see him perform multiple times, and then knowing the energy and the power that he brought to Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers and his solo career and the other times he appeared on other people's material, he was just so amazing. And as people know, I like stuff in the midst of the hardcore rap and gangster rap and tough street reporting and all that I like. I always like the levity and the humor that you can bring to it. And Old Dirty brings that on Shame on It. But then also, Mystery of Chess Boxing, Protect Your Neck. Like, he's just phenomenal throughout this album.
Yeah, he is.
So that's my third pick. You guys got Amir's third pick. As always, please hit us in the comments section. Let us know what you guys think. And also, of course, subscribe, like, and talk about unique access to your friends. Please get a friend to subscribe. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
The Great Debaters, y'all. And thanks to the Wu for this, man. A masterpiece.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.